What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having a good one. We're here for the top 13 matchups between the Eagles and the Dolphins. Week 7 coming up this Sunday night. I also have the injury report for today's practice. Got the stats and standings for both teams, their depth chart, so you can see what they look like, and then we'll talk about those top matchups. But lots of information for you. Appreciate you taking the time. Love to hear your thoughts. Appreciate you hitting the like button, subscribing, all those things you're doing to support the channel. We're going to jump right into this bad boy. We're going to start it off with the injury report for today, and they made me wait forever, of course, and the Phillies game starting, so trying to talk as fast as I possibly can, but let's take a look here. The Eagles get some good news, and we talked about this. Look, these lists are always going to be long. You have to pay attention to what's going on each day. So yesterday, a lot of scares here, but you see Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith, they moved up to limited today. They're expected to play. Let's go. Darius Slay, Milton Williams, they went from limited to full. Everything else stayed the same. So Carter, Goddard, still limited, and Blankenship and Roby still did not practice. So not looking good. Doesn't sound like Blankenship or Roby is going to play, but the other guys looking good for them. Now with the Dolphins here, as you can see, a couple things have changed for them. Now, Van Ginkel, that was a personal issue for him, so he did not practice today. But just like with Lamb yesterday, he was back full, ready to go, wasn't an injury. But you see here, Xavier Howard was upgraded to limited, Ingold as well, and so did Connor Williams. So great news for them there. Everyone else was the same today. So you can see Chris Brooks here did not practice. That's the guy that does not sound like he is going to play there. But those were the injury reports for both teams. So you can see we will keep up to date with both of those things just so you know what's going on for this game come Sunday. Now let's take a look at how both of these teams have been doing so far this season. And both teams at the top of their division, both teams 5-1 here. So see the Eagles trying to stay at top with the Cowboys and Commanders right there. Giants, well, they just kind of suck. And then, well, with the Bills, the Dolphins, they've got the Bills and Jets behind them. And then, well, the Patriots just suck. So, look, we're both trying to stay atop here, the Eagles trying to find their way with the new coordinators. The Dolphins, obviously, a lot of firepower there. So, let's take a look at how these teams have been able to, be 5-1 here to start this season. And obviously, the Eagles got some things to figure out, but 5th in points, 2nd overall in yardage. That's 9th in passing and 2nd in rushing. So they're finding their way on offense. Red zone and a little bit of struggles there, turnovers. So these things, they got to get cleaned up. And once they are, this team is going to dominate. So that's a great sign. We know that this team is only going to get better. Yes. Now on the defense, they continue to have injuries, but they continue to improve. 2nd against the run, 20th against the pass, but that's 9th in total yardage, 16th in points. So we talk about taking these stats with a grain of salt because a lot of teams, if they're trailing, they will be passing a lot. We force teams to become one-dimensional, taking away that run. See 3.3 sacks per game. Now, not getting many turnovers, middle of the pack there, so want to see more of those. Now, this defense better step it up, and my Lord, do they have the toughest challenge to date here. Number 1 in points, yards, passing, rushing, sacks, not giving up, interceptions. I mean, holy hell, the only thing they're doing is fumbling here and there. So, my Lord, do the Eagles have their hands full here? And then on the defensive side of the ball, again, take these with a grain of salt because, they have these huge leads, teams, they're getting away. They're, playing a more prevent style defense here. So, oh, my Lord, this defense, again, take that all with a grain of salt, but they can be attacked. And we'll talk about how they can do that. Not getting many turnovers, but they do have some playmakers there in Miami. So before I get into these top matchups, let's take a look at what both of these teams look like here. And I'll show you the depth charts. But first, here are I'll show you the practice squads as well. So maybe these guys will be elevated. A guy like Julio Jones probably going to be elevated. Maybe a Garner or Goodrich from the defense. So you see the 16 players the Eagles have on their practice squad. Here are the players on reserve. You will not see them on the depth chart. So Bradley, Evans, Johnson, Juergens, Maddox, McPherson, Watkins, and of course, Rodgers suspended. So they will not be on this depth chart, but they are on reserves there. So the offense, we know Opeta at right guard. We've got Alameda at slot, but Julio, I imagine, could get elevated here even with just a couple days in this offense. See what he's got left in the tank, throw him out there. let's effing go. Everybody else on the offense, good to go there. Then on the defense, Roby, Blankenship sounding like they might miss. So Edmonds is going to have to step in there. And whether it's Job or Ricks, I don't know that they start Scott, but he can help as a safety. He can help as a nickel corner. So that versatility will come into play there. But we'll keep up to date with all of those injuries. And then the special teams, everybody good to go there. But that's what the Eagles look like. Now let's take a look at what the Dolphins look like. You can see their practice squad. Again, somebody's exempt there. They've got 17 players, 10 on offense, 7 on defense there. We'll see if they decide to elevate anyone. We'll keep up to date with their injuries. Tomorrow's the game status report, so you'll know who's questionable, who's out, with an updated depth chart coming with that. Now, here are the guys on their reserve list, and it looks like Nick Needham, he might possibly come back. Jeff Wilson could come back here, so some good news for them there, but they are missing some key players. Ramsey not going to come back this week, but getting close. Achane, they will definitely want to get him back, or Achane, whatever. So got some players there you will not see on this depth chart, but again, their third string running back, probably elevate a running back because Chris Brooks sounds like he will miss. But other than that, Ingold was limited. Sounds like he'll be all right. Connor Williams was limited. Sounds like he'll be all right, although he has had some issues. So that is what the offense looks like. We know they are loaded. Then on defense, you can see, look, it sound like they're going to be healthy with Xavier Howard there. Unfortunate they don't have Ramsey, but it would have been really bad with Xavier Howard out for them. So some good news there, and I'll keep you up to date tomorrow with the game status report. But here's their special teams, and as you can see, got some talent there as well. So that is what both teams look like. Now we're going to get into these top 13 matchups. You got all the info you need to know so you can decide for yourself what the top matchups are. Let me know if you agree. You think someone should be higher, lower, whatever it may be. But we're going to start it off here with number 13. It's not really a matchup, but these two, we'll see who can actually help their team in the special teams department. We got Covey, who's got 195 return yards, second in the league, 13.9 yards per return, which is for sixth in the league. And then you got Berrios, who 9.5 yards per return. That's 12th in the league, but he can bust one open at any time. Talented guy. So which one of these guys can help you in a different area of the game, not just offense and defense? So wanted to throw that in there. Two little dudes out there trying to make something happen for their teams. Now at number 12, I've got, look, this Eagles safety room. Don't think that Reed's going to play. So it's going to be Brown, Edmonds, maybe Garner, Goodrich helps out, Scott. We'll see. But Sidney Brown, man, it really needs to obviously step in here. We talked about, being patient with him, but now we need him. And missing Reed Blankenship, who has 39 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 7 passes deflected, an interception, and he's given up 19 receptions on 34 targets. That's 55.9% completion percentage there, giving up 210 yards, 11.1 yards per reception with a touchdown given up. Edmonds, he has 19 tackles, a forced fumble, giving up 7 out of 13. That's 53.8%. That's pretty good. 89 yards, 12.7 yards per completion, giving up 1 touchdown. Now, Brown, he's only played for a little bit. 3 tackles, 1 pass deflected on Mike Evans there. But, yeah, that's the only passing he's done. So 0 for 1 there. Let's go. But Durham Smythe, you got Julian Hill there. More of a blocking guy. But Smythe, he has 11 receptions, 123 yards, 11.2 yards per reception with 0 touchdowns. But look, the safety room, they're going to be helping out with the linebackers trying to shut down the middle of the field. These tight ends, I think they can do that. Time for him to step up, show what he can do as a blitzer, all those other things. But looking forward to watching him shut down those tight ends. Now at number 11, let's get this run game going, baby. Run the damn ball. DeAndre Swift, 86 carries, 452 yards. That's 5.3 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns. He has 23 receptions, 115 yards, 5 yards per reception with a touchdown. Now, we're going to use Kenny Gainwell. He's good on third downs, a great blocker. He's had 41 rushes for 141 yards, only 3.4 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. But he does have 9 receptions, 43 yards, 4.8 yards per reception. So these guys step it up here. You've got Jerome Baker, who has 34 tackles, 1.5 sacks. He's given up 17 receptions on 18 targets. That's 94.4%, 133 yards. Not great there. So you can use these guys as receivers as well. And then you talk about someone like David Long, 47 tackles, 1 sack, 4 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, giving up 14 receptions on 16 targets, 87.5%, 221 yards and a touchdown. So Sounds like David Long's been the better linebacker there, but these running backs can get things going, run the ball, use them in the passing game. I think we could definitely attack that area. And then at number 10, we've got the interior defensive line for the Eagles against the interior of the Dolphins. And Carter's got 3.5 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles. Look, man, he's a stud. Happy to have him back this week. Jordan Davis, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, and a forced fumble. Cox out there with a 0.5 sack. Same for Milton Williams, tackle for loss for Milton. These guys are getting in there. Get that rotation going. They are first against the pass, the run, total yardage points, giving up sacks. They're number 1 against that. So we got to get things going in here. And I think the Eagles can do that, and hoping that the interior can. Connor Williams has had struggles with his snaps. Let's attack there. And then on the outside, man, oh, baby. Reddick's got 5.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. Getting that cast off has been a wonder. He is eating souls. You got Sweat there with 3.5 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, and a pass deflected. And look, they're giving up 1 sack per game here. These guys, they're doing pretty damn well. So it's a tough task at hand, but I think the Eagles are up for it and looking forward to trying to get some sacks here. Multiple, not just 1, 2, let's get 3. Let's go, baby. And we know we're averaging 3.3 per game, so let's go. Now, you see Goddard here getting a little bit involved now. He's got 26 receptions, 247 yards, 9.5 yards per reception with a touchdown. And you're going up against Javon Holland. He's got 3 passes deflected, 3 forced fumbles, 2 tackles for a loss. Gave up 19 receptions on 26 targets. That's 73.1%. 189 yards, 9.9 yards per reception, and a touchdown. Attack him. Attack Deshaun Elliott as well. 3 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble. He's doing a little bit better in coverage. 7 out of 12 there for 58.3%, 109 yards, 15.6 yards per reception, and 1 touchdown given up. I think it's time for Goddard to get involved. Let's attack the middle of the field, outside, numbers, inside, whatever you got to do down low. Get Goddard involved here, baby. Now at number 7, I've got the Eagles linebackers, and we used all 3 of them. We'll see if we do the same here this week. But you've got Cunningham, 37 tackles. He's played in all 6 games, though. 1 tackle for loss, 1 fumble recovered there. 21 out of 28 is his receptions given up, 75%. So not doing too bad. He usually struggles there, giving up 135 yards and a touchdown. Morrow, 27 tackles, 3 sacks, got 7 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble and recovered. But he's given up 11 out of 12 receptions, 91.7%. Not great, 104 yards there. Kobe Dean only played a little bit in the 2 games. He has 11 tackles. But look, we just need to get, whoever on the field and shut down Mostert. Wilson will probably be back here, but Mostert right now, 75 carries, 429 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, and 9 touchdowns. 18 receptions, 145 yards, 8.1 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. Oh, my Lord, we're going to need our linebackers to step it up here, shut these guys down. Looking forward to that matchup. Now at number 6, I got the Eagles wide receivers going up against these corners. AJ's got 42 catches, 672 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Devontae, 28 catches, 334 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Going up against a team that gives up 229.2 yards per game. That's 19th in the NFL. So I think it's time we get these receivers going here. Only 2 touchdowns for both of them. Look, a tough matchup here, but not against Apple or Kohu. I think we could attack these guys, get this pass game going. We know 2 corners were out last week. Let's get things going here for all these guys. Looking forward to seeing Julio Jones in this offense with Olamide Zaccheaus. Let's get things going, man. Use all 4 of them. I'm all about it. Now, let's protect Jalen Hurts so we can get it to those guys. And we talk about the Eagles right now, 2nd in rushing, 9th in passing, 2nd total yardage here. And you look at, a guy like Christian Wilkins, 3.5 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 passes deflected. You look at Cypher there, 4 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss. So this team doing pretty good. Some big boys that are going to be coming after our interior guys. So we need to step it up here. And then, of course, our tackles, Lane and, my lot out here. This whole line, we're giving up 2.3 sacks per game, 12th in the NFL. Getting better there. But you've got Bradley Chubb here, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles. Jalen Phillips has a 1/2 a sack right now. Van Ginkel, though, he's got 4 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, 2 passes deflected, and a fumble recovery. So they've got a rotation there. We have to continue to protect Jalen Hurts. Now at number 3, I've got the Eagles defense going up against Tua Tagovailoa. And dude, he is balling right now. 71.1% completion percentage, 9.5 yards per completion, 312.7 yards per game. He's got 1,876 yards, 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's been sacked 6 times. So we've got to try to get some pressure, make them one-dimensional, but they have got stars. They can make that passing game, just part of their run game, getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers. So we got to do all we can to shut this down. And look, we talk about we're 20th against the pass, second against the run, 9th in total yardage, 16th, middle of the pack there in points. And look, we're getting sacks, middle of the pack in turnovers, but we need to get sacks, turnovers, pressure, everything we can to shut this offense down, not let Tua get going, have one of those 300-yard games. We have to shut him down. Bend, do not break. Now, he's going to be trying to get it to these superstar receivers, and my Lord, help us. We're giving up, as we said, 232.2 per game. Slay's given up 24 receptions on 35 targets at 68.6%. 290 yards, it's 12.1 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. Bradbury, 16 out of 29, 55.2%. That's pretty damn good. 10.1 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns. Eli Ricks, 4 out of 6, giving up 66.7% there. 10 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. Job doing the best out of all of our corners. 13 of 25 for 52%, 13.1 yards per reception and a touchdown. We have to do all we can. Tyreek Hill, 42 receptions. He's got 814 yards already, 6 touchdowns. Waddle's got 24 for 296 and 2 touchdowns. So, oh boy, we're going to see who we use here. Is it Ricks? Is it Job? Is Scott going to get some action there at nickel? Are we going to have Bradbury there with Job outside or Ricks? Oh, my Lord. Better figure it out because we've got ourselves quite a tough task at hand. But at number 1, the most important thing the Eagles need to do, let Jalen Hurts be himself against this Dolphins defense. Talked about it. We can exploit them. They're 19th against the pass, 20th against the run. That's 20th in total yardage, 26th in points given up. 5th, though, in sacks, tied for 23rd in turnovers. So we got to protect Jalen Hurts, allow him to get time, get it to those receivers. And Jalen Hurts right now, he's had his ups and downs, but 66.2 completion percentage, 7.2 yards per reception, 257 yards per game. He has 1,542 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, been sacked 14 times. So need to clean those things up that we've talked about over and over again. The stupid mistakes are how we're going to lose games, especially games that you shouldn't against teams like the Jets. But this team is good enough to beat the Dolphins, even with the injuries. And look, you saw it last week. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, the Jets beat us when no one in the world thought they would. So anything can happen, especially when you're rocking that Kelly Green, baby. So I'm ready as hell to see that. But that is all I've got for you. If you got anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. You can always subscribe, but I will be back tomorrow. I'll have the game status report. We'll have Fan Friday live, taking all your questions, topics, whatever is on your mind. We'll be breaking it all down. But until then, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Go effing Phils. But until next time, stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!